Hey there, Pisces. So this is your ascendant forecast for the week ahead from Monday, the 1st of December, right the way through to Sunday, the 7th of December, 2025. And this is the week of the full moon in the sign of Gemini, which is a fellow mutable sign. And it's actually going to be pulling into a nodal pattern. What I mean by that is at the time of the full moon, it's also going to take the full moon into what's known as a grand square with the north node, which is in your first house right now, and the south node in your seventh house. So this feels quite important. This full moon is also going across your 4th, 10th house polarity as well. So yeah, your 1st, your 4th, your 7th, and your 10th houses are all really emphasized. This seems like quite an important week ahead. Now, on top of that, we're coming to the end of a pattern that was, I think, seeded at the end of August, as we were coming into autumn. We've had this beautiful series of grand water trines going on, and we're coming to the end of this grand water trine that keeps constituting and reconstituting itself. And there's some lessons to be understood from those, given that your ascendant is in the sign of water. I wonder what that might mean for you as we come to the end of this pattern. We've also going to have the last Uranus opposition to Mercury. That's coming up at the end of, mid next week, but it's already coming into view as we're looking at it this week. So what I'm going to do is pace you through all the planetary movements that I think are really relevant, and hopefully it'll give you a bit of a heads up. If you're new to this channel, by the way, my name's Louisa. Welcome to Feel Good Astrology. Hope you like it. And as I get going, let me just bring to the table my gratitude to all the people who support this channel, and also my membership on School. It's my community space. Thank you so much, because you make it possible for me to be a content creator. I love it. So thank you very much. Anyway, these are the two charts that I've got for the week ahead. You'll see I've gone the wrong way again. I've done this 3 times now. So this is the first one, and you'll see as we start this week ahead, the moon is in the 2nd house in the sign of Aries. By the end of the week, the moon is in your 5th house in the sign of Cancer. And so in this week ahead, you'll see that I've really highlighted the full moon. I mean, this is where it's all at. But we do have a few other things to discuss as well. So yeah, Monday the 1st then. So the first thing that I think is important to recognize is that on Monday the 1st, you'll probably get this feeling that it's all go, like chop, chop, let's get these things done. And in particular, there's this lovely trine energy coming from, I don't know where the trine has actually it's gone, like my line from Mars to the moon has disappeared. But there is this trine energy from the moon to the from Mars to the moon across the 10th house and the 2nd house. And later on, the moon comes into a conjunction with Chiron. To me, that's just showing that as you hit the ground running, you really are hitting the ground running, and really thinking in terms of your job, your career, how you're seen, with Mars and the Sun and now Venus in your 10th house. This is a time when things are starting to work their way forwards in your career. I think this is a really helpful time for you. Like there's much more clarity about what it is that you're doing to earn a living. It feels fantastic. But just at the end of the day, as the moon comes into this conjunction with Chiron, you might just feel a little bit vulnerable. Have you pushed yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone? Have you overpromised and are not able to deliver what you're hoping for? To me, some little insecurity is popping up. What I want to say about this is just like, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? But don't take it too seriously. I mean, you could beat yourself up, which is a real sort of Pisces thing to do, but that's not going to serve anyone. And right now, there's so much really good energy coming for you, really trying to help you get onto a really good career path and to move forwards in life. And so it'd almost be a disaster to let a little insecurity kind of floor you. So choose to acknowledge it, but don't let it take up too much airspace. Now, on the 2nd, that's Tuesday the 2nd through to Thursday the 4th, the moon is going to be in your 3rd house, which is highlighting things to do with community, like Are you going to be a lot more busy out and about? To me, it's like the usual time when you might be catching up with people, when you might be making arrangements, sending lots of emails. It's very chatty, very busy, also very supportive. It's a time when people are expecting you to kind of fit into the normality of the usual cut and thrust of life. So if you're in your job, you're expected to kind of knuckle straight in and get on and create that sense of balance with everyone around you. Now, during that time, Venus is making a lovely sextile to Pluto. And this is Venus right at the top of your chart, connecting to Pluto in your 12th house. To me, this is also suggesting that, yes, you're kind of busy with clients. You're coming into this busy client stage. And actually, it's quite helpful. Like with Venus in your 10th house, it feels like there's a certain glamour, like you're doing well. People are happy to see you. People really want to see you doing well. And so I think that's really transforming how you see yourself at a much deeper level. And Pluto here is ready to transform that. You're transforming the belief systems that you have about yourself. So I see that you're upgrading in many ways, which is very helpful. And then Thursday, we're coming into the time of the full moon in Gemini. And so the moon comes into your 4th house of home. This is a time when you're feeling quite private. You don't want to be disturbed too much. And so it's interesting, isn't it, that you've got such a public profile right now, with Mars in the 10th house. It's like lots of people want to work with you. There's lots of things you could get on and do. You're naturally taking leadership and ownership of things. The sun up there is showing you shining. Venus up there is showing people appreciating you. So it all looks good. And yet, as the moon comes into the 4th house, there's this tension about wanting to be at home. Or maybe you're feeling that there are people who are emotional at home and trying to hold you in place. Now, of course, this full moon, I've already sowed those seeds that the full moon is going to be in a square to your south node in the 7th and your north node in the 1st. And so it's interesting that right now, as things are looking quite positive about the shifts you're making in your career, and the North Node is really saying, it's all about you. This is about you shaping who you want to be, thinking, okay, if I have to commit to something for the rest of my life, what might that be? Who am I right now? There's all these really big questions about becoming. And you are known in your family, you are known in your relationship. And the South Node in the 7th house is really suggesting that you've already learned how to do relationships well. You've already learned how to do that family thing really well. But at the time of this full moon, it just feels like there's so much tension between, are you home? Are you out there? Are you with them or are you with you? It's really difficult. I don't know how possible it would be for you to just sit in the middle, right in the middle of your chart, and and try and do all of it. I don't know, but if you go to one side or the other, it feels like you're going to be held accountable for not doing something. And so, how can you kind of sit in the middle of it for a little bit? Full moons, I think, bring about a certain urgency, this feeling, got to get it done. I've got to get this moving, working, whatever it is. But how can you be calm in the middle of the full moon storm around you? That would be my advice, is to go right into the center and observe what's going on around you, but not get too pulled in. On the 5th, you got Mars in a trine to Chiron, which I think it's exact by that point. And, as Mars is in this exact trine with Chiron, I really think that you can move forwards substantially with your career whilst also addressing that thing you're a bit insecure about at the beginning of the week. So it feels like it's all movement. You're resolving the problems in real time, with grace and ease. Then we're coming up to the weekend. That's Saturday the 6th and Sunday the 7th. And that's when the moon is moving into your 5th house. This is a highly creative house. This is a place where your children, if you've got children, they sit in the 5th house. It's also a place of new relationships if you're in a new relationship or looking for a relationship. If you're in an existing relationship, this is where you might go to freshen it up. But it's also a place where you invest a lot of time in the things that you feel really passionate about. You know, those things that lift you up. And so as this comes in, you've also got Mercury in your ninth house coming into an exact alignment with Neptune, and also into, and I don't know where that line's gone either, into an exact alignment with Jupiter. So there's this beautiful, and it's so funny, I'm talking about this beautiful grand trine energy. Oh, there it is. But at the end of the week, this beautiful grand trine energy is really, really strong. And so, yeah, I guess from this weekend perspective, Saturday and Sunday, I wonder how you can reflect on the new strength that's been coming up in you, your ability to see, you know, like Mercury, and you've had Mars, you've had Venus, you've had the Sun and Mercury all in the ninth house very recently, adding into this trine. It's like there's a need for you to, or there has been a need for you to expand your knowledge, to learn more about all the things that you might want to pull into your career or pull into your life. It's a time of hobbies and passions, a time of moving around, meeting lots of new people. It's also a time of thinking new philosophical things, spiritual things, religious things, political things. So your mind has been expanding on so many different levels. And that has been feeding into Jupiter in your fifth, really making you want to kind of challenge yourself a little bit, to expand with this new way of thinking. And then this is obviously going to have a knock-on effect on how you see yourself and your identity. So I think over this last season, out of all the different signs, you've gone through such an identity shift. It's unreal. So maybe you can reflect on that Saturday and Sunday, and consider what from autumn you might take through into winter as winter approaches. So I hope that's helpful for you, Pisces. Now, if you like the way I look at charts and dive right in, you might want to have more of my forecasts. If so, I've got a community on School. It's a platform called school.com/feel-good astrology. And there I do Monday to Friday forecasts. I also have weekly updates for all 12 signs on love and also on your career aspirations. I also host hangouts. There's always something to do every week. But from January, there's also going to be lessons that you can join if you want to. But maybe you want to work more in collaboration and examine your chart from a multitude of perspectives. You know, I think 2026 is such a deep development year. You know, we really are kissing goodbye the Saturn, the Neptune, and the Uranus patterns, and we're going to have a node change, and we're going to have Chiron changing as well next year. And so, you know, if you're ready for a spectacular year and you're ready to sow some seeds, set some intentions, you might find it useful to work with me on a monthly basis. If this sounds like something you're interested in, check out my astrological mentorship plan. Drop me a message about it. My details are below in the show notes, but also on my channel page. So whether we work together or not, or if you come to community or not, have a beautiful week ahead. This is a time of real great change, and I hope you have a fabulous week ahead. Lots and lots of love to you, and catch you next time. Bye for now.